Hey everybody, welcome back to Protect Yours Mental Health Mondays, week 2. I know it's a Tuesday. I apologize for getting you all this video so late, but technology has not been my friend. And if you have any form of technology, you can just imagine a plethora of things that occurred within the last 24 hours. Anyway, I'm super excited to be back and to be re-recording this video specifically for you. Last week we talked about assessing and addressing your 2018 emotions and how it helps you better your mental health, as the topic for January is 4 simple steps to better your mental health. So if you didn't watch last week's assessing and addressing, a brief recap is we talked about the importance of identifying your point A before you could get to your point B, which is oftentimes the goal. Sometimes we set a goal and we just want to take off, but we don't assess where we are, meaning our foundation may be a little rocky, our foundation may be unsturdy, and just running straight after that goal, our foundation can literally crumble and make everything fall apart, which can cause feelings of being overwhelmed, frustrated, anxious, sad, so forth and so on. So we talked about how step number 1 to better mental health is to assess and address where you currently are. I'm super excited to get into step number 2 today, which is stress-free goal setting, one of my absolute favorite things. I love to set goals. It makes me so happy. If you've ever been in therapy, you know that one of the first things you do in treatment is a treatment plan. And what this is you and your therapist sit down and collaborate together on what treatment will look like for you. How will you achieve your goal? And about halfway through, sometimes therapists do it every week, you'll check in and see how far you've progressed from where you began, your point A, to where you're going, your point B. And so ever since I've learned this in school or treatment planning, I have loved it in terms of in terms of setting goals. It's just been like super awesome, super effective for myself, my friends, and my family. I've encouraged them to utilize this method as well. So we're going to jump right in, but before we do, check out these disclaimers. Alright guys, welcome back. Now that you've heard those disclaimers, you are fully aware that this is not a therapeutic platform. This is just an educational platform. But if you are looking for a therapist, you can log on to sctcounseling.com to schedule your free consultation with me today. Or you can log on to Psychology Today if you do not live in the Chicagoland area or in Illinois, period. All right, you guys ready? You all ready to talk about stress-free goal setting? I am. So the first things first, the trusty principle. If you have not signed up for my mailing list, and this is you watching me for the very first time, be sure to do so now so that you can get your monthly printable. This is the one for January. Every single month there'll be one printable with 4 different sections for each Monday of the month. I think there might be 5 Mondays in some months, but anyway, we'll figure that out when it happens. Go ahead to bit.ly/PYMHM. That is bit.ly/PYMHM to sign up for the mailing list, and you will get your printable next week, and you can follow along. If you don't have a printable, no worries. Grab your trusty notebook, and you can follow along that way. So some of you all, this hair. Okay, some of you all probably have printed your printable and you're like, okay, what is this? Why are the lines so wide up top and small at the bottom? It looks like an upside down pyramid. There's this weird funky arrow like, Shan, what are you doing? Well, I think that so often people focus on the goal alone, which is why I made the bottom part very small. So often we create vision boards. I love vision boards, y'all. I do. I have my vision boards from years and years and years. However, the issue with vision boards for me is it's just the goal. It does not map out the plan. It does not show you how to get there. And so often we create in our minds what we want, but we don't sit down to map out how to get there, how to get from our point A to our point B, where we are currently and what it's going to take to get up here. So I love vision boards, but it is not effective standing alone. I feel like if you write a vision out, but you don't have a plan behind it, it remains a vision. If you write a dream, or if you have a dream and you don't write a plan to execute, it remains a dream. A vision and a dream without a plan is just a vision and a dream, right? So let's go ahead and jump right on into my method of goal setting. So take your trusty principle and flip it upside down. Okay, what you want to do is write your goal on the bottom line. That's the thing that we will focus on the least throughout this. What you'll do is at the end you'll turn it upside down and you'll see the biggest thing is the first step to even achieving your goal. We won't even be focusing on the goal once we complete this. So let's turn it back upside down. Let's use the goal of purchasing a house. Shameless plug, my husband is a realtor, so if you are looking for a home, holla at me. I got your back. Only if you're in the Chicagoland area. Okay, so what I want you to do is take your printable and on the smallest line upside down, write purchase a new home. Okay? Now I want you to think about what is the step that precedes purchasing a new home. Well, first you have to find a home, right? So you'll write that on the next line. What happens right before you find a home? Oftentimes you have to have a realtor. So we'll write down have a realtor. Trusted realtor named Rodney Terry of Primetime Realty. Another shameless plug. All right before you get that realtor, what needs to take place? Now, I know because my husband preaches it, you have to be pre-approved. You have to get pre-approved before you seek out a realtor. Or most realtors prefer it. Okay, pre-approval letter. Now, what must you do to get that pre-approval letter? You have to have all of your tax documents. You have to have your paycheck stubs. So we'll just say gather information. And to be honest, we could add another step in there and say finding a reputable company that you want to purchase your mortgage through. Okay, now you have gathered all your documents. What has to happen right before you gather your documents? From experience, you have to make sure your credit and your savings is put together. So let's say you feel like you want to save $10,000. So you say save $10,000. Well, before you even save for your down payment, you probably need to get your credit in order. Let's say you want to pay off $5,000 on your credit card. Okay. So what is it going to take to pay off $5,000? All right. It looks like you might have to work 10 extra hours a week. All right. Now, you know you got to work 10 extra hours a week. What is that going to require? And you keep going and going and going and going. By the end of this, if you can see on my paper as I've written, hopefully you all can see, my focus is now not the bottom. My focus is no longer to buy a house. My focus, that's just my goal. But to achieve my goal, my focus is first, turn it upside down. It's to work 10 extra hours a week so that I can pay my credit card down $5,000. And then after I do that, my focus then shifts. So you're working on the goal, but in order to get to the goal, you have to start at the top. So the reason I call this stress-free goal setting is because sometimes we set goals that are far too big for us to accomplish in the amount of time that we expect it to happen. Writing it out this way gives you a step-by-step guide on how to achieve that goal. So when 6 months roll around, you're not going to be frustrated and sad because you haven't bought a house yet. Or you're not going to be frustrated and sad when you see your friend purchasing a house and you're like, hey, that's what I wanted. No, as long as you've mapped out what it's going to take and you're working towards it, you know you will achieve that goal. And so I want to add an extra component, something that I personally do, and it helps me a lot, especially with time management. Time management can be a challenge simply because I do so many things, right? I have a mentoring organization. I work a full-time job. I have Protect Yours Mental Health Mondays. I'm married. So many things. So the next step that you could take is to put on a side column how long each step would take. Then you have an estimated time frame of when this goal can be accomplished. And instead of crunching and saying, oh, I could do this in one day, if it really will take one day, I would say double it. At least do a day and a half. That way you give yourself room for life. Like something may happen. You may be tired and you can't get up, or you don't have enough energy to get up and do what you need to do right away. Well, that's okay, because you gave yourself a little bit of cushion. So using our example of buying a house, let's go through really quickly on how much time this might take for someone if this person was a real person. So to work 10 extra hours a week, how many weeks would you have to work those hours to make an extra $5,000? So let's say that's going to take 3 months. Okay. Now you might decide to double up and do 20 extra hours a week, and it take a month and a half or even just a month, but you've allotted yourself enough time to achieve the goal. Okay, or achieve this step going into the goal. Then you want to pay off your debt. That is a simple 2 minutes, right? Especially if you don't have online bill pay. Then you have saved $10,000. So if $5,000 took you 3 months, let's say $10,000 will take you 6 months. Then you prepare your tax documents. That'll take, let's say, 5 days. Pre-approval letter typically takes, let's say, 3 days. Find a good realtor. We'll give you 4 days. No, we'll give you 7 days. Just in case you want to try other people, even though I already told you Rodney is the best out there. But that's neither here nor there. 7 days. And then to find a home, it could take anywhere between 1 to 3 months. And that includes the closing, the inspection, blah, blah, blah. And lastly, purchase your home, which can take anywhere between a few hours. So we'll just say 1 day. So for this fictitious person, it may take 7 months for him or her to purchase their home, which is cool. Imagine setting your goal January 1st, buying a house. You can buy your house in July if you wanted to, versus not having a plan and not having a step-by-step guide. It may end up being September and you're frustrated because you're still not in your home. You're getting these no's. You can't get pre-approved. No, you can't do XYZ. No, you can't do that. Blah, 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 blah. But if you would have sat down and did your goal planning, your stress-free goal planning, you would have reached your goal so much easier, smoother, and faster. And when I say easy, I don't mean the process is easy. I mean, it makes it a little bit easier when you know your why. That's a whole nother topic in and of itself. And then giving yourself a time frame is also extremely helpful, because we live in a microwave generation where we want everything instantly, and a lot of times things do not come instantly and our feelings are hurt. At least maybe I'm just talking to myself. Maybe it's just me. Maybe y'all don't experience that, but I do, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. So that is stress-free goal setting for 2019. What I want you to do, or what I would encourage you to do, is to identify whatever goals you have. Look at your vision board. If your vision board says you want to be America's Next Top Model, what steps? Write a step-by-step guide as to what it will take to become America's Next Top Model. I love this thing that my husband says. He says, if it's not written down, it's not real. And I say the same thing for this. If you do not have the step-by-step guide, that goal is void before you even go after it. So this year, make a conscious effort to goal set a different way versus just the vision board, or just, this is my goal, I'm going after it. Let's map it out so that we can be less stressed in 2019. Okay? Y'all gonna do that for me? I hope so. It'll help you. I hope this video has really encouraged or inspired you in some shape or form. If you enjoyed, be sure to share it with your friends. Like it, comment, subscribe, do all of that amazing stuff. And I cannot wait to come back to you all next week to talk about routines. I'm super excited about talking about that because routines is what's going to make the plan a little bit easier. Sometimes we set astronomical plans in place, and we say, oh, you know, I'm going to wake up at 6 o'clock every morning and be at work 3 hours early, but our day-to-day life doesn't even allow for us to make those adjustments so that we can make it to our goal. So I'm super excited to talk to you all about that next week. Be sure to tune in. If you are not a part of my mailing list, join right now at bit.ly/PYMHM. There we go. Whew. I'm so excited about next week, and I will see you then.